Hello lovers of the world, this is Cinta speaking. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm experimenting with a new type of video. I was entertaining the idea of filming my February calendar setup, but I also needed to make my music of the month summary for January, so I decided to combine the two together. It would definitely save time since I wouldn't need to edit two videos and it would kill two birds with one stone basically. As you can tell from the footage, I filmed my journaling session at night. It was just after I submitted my assignment and I wanted to reward myself with a journaling session. First, I do my January summary spread, which is just a spread that rounds off the activities that I got up to in January, and then I move on to my calendar a little bit later on. So I was quite busy in January because of summer school assignments, and I was rushing to finish off my albums of the year list, so I wasn't really in the mood or in the right mindset to want to sit down and immerse myself in hour-long albums. I'm pretty sure I watched more YouTube videos and listened to songs from Spotify playlists this month instead. But here are the few projects I did find the time and energy to listen to. Awaken the World was released in 2020 by NCT subunit WayV. And this is actually my first ever project that I've heard from WayV. And it's funny how this album and WayV as a group itself is meant to both sound as close to K-pop as much as possible while also being very distant from K-pop as much as they can due to China's restrictions on K-pop at the time of WayV's inception. But it sounds firmly placed, at least musically, in the K-pop genre. I can't help but be reminded of EXO's old title tracks. For example, Turn Back Time has the loud production that is quintessential to K-pop basically. The chorus features the members singing together, then peppered throughout these are pockets of inhuman male belting. At least we know that WayV inherited the pipes from their predecessors. And I find similar elements in other songs like Unbreakable, for example. So it's difficult not to remember EXO-M, who was wildly famous in China, and not make the connection between the two groups. I'm not insinuating that SM Entertainment just tried to make an EXO-M Part 2 Electric Boogaloo, but I can see them implementing the musical styles that they already know is popular in China in this new group. Well, they're not new anymore, but you get what I mean. This album features a lot of elements that are established NCT sounds, such as the roaring electric guitar riffs, the pulled-back melodic breakdowns, and the glittery synths. But as I was discussing with my friend, WayV doesn't seem as interested in stepping out of genre conventions as explicitly as NCT is trying to do. Most of the songs, if not all of them, are very firmly planted in their specific genre, such as hip-hop songs like Only Human and Domino, pop songs like After Midnight, which incorporates many of the retro styles found in today's recent pop music, and more K-pop rooted tracks like Unbreakable, Electric Hearts, and of course Turn Back Time. This is probably one of the best K-pop albums I've ever heard. No cap, period. It's cohesive, it's colorful, and moves with intent. So I'm probably gonna be paying more close attention to WayV in the future, and maybe in 2021 they'll have another comeback. We'll see how it goes. iBurn is (G)I-DL's latest and longest project. I didn't like this, Lamau. I feel like I desperately want to like (G)I-DL, especially considering I actually really like Soyeon. She's my favorite, and I find her very charismatic. But their music doesn't really do anything for me, which is a shame. I was really hoping that this was the project that finally hooks me into (G)I-DL, but unfortunately, 3 years into their career, despite already having found a pretty solid foundation for their music style, it is becoming increasingly apparent that their music style is just not for me. TBH, my personal story regarding how I found out about the Treasure album is probably more interesting than me actually talking about the contents of the album itself, considering that 7 out of the 10 tracks were already released. So I don't really have any new reactions to offer. My personal story is that my friend and I both predicted the outcome of the tracklist by accident. I said that I'm manifesting 8 tracks, and then he said that's wishful thinking considering they're a YG group. In the 1 million chance that they do that, they'll probably combine all their previous tracks into one handy album instead of releasing 10 new songs. And I said, that's absolutely cursed, I hope that never happens. The next day, Treasure released the track list, and lo and behold, it's cursed. Anyways, I understand that Treasure are a rookie group and they believably have a long future ahead of them to build up their discography. They're already doing a pretty good job in the marketing and promoting area in comparison to other YG groups. That being said, when they released the teaser that the album was going to have 10 tracks, this was certainly not what I was expecting. And I do like some of Treasure's music. I'm just praying that in the future they'll have more opportunities to shine and have more diverse music. Next up is an album from German pop singer Celine, or Selena? Selena. I've been trying to get into German music since 2015, when I started learning the language in high school, but I've never really found anything that interested me enough. Unfortunately, this album was not the album that magically sucked me into that genre. So I realized that in order to expand my musical horizons, I needed to delve into music that is not always meant to entertain, but is also meant to make a statement or to push boundaries of what music means. The soundscapes in this album is definitely very thought-provoking. I listened to this because Clairo recommended the band in her What's in My Bag Amoeba video, so I thought I'd give them a try. I think the album I chose isn't the right one for me, so I'm probably gonna go back and listen to a different album from the band later on. This is a really, really good album. It has beautiful storytelling that weaves in tales of vulnerability and painful truths that need to be said nonetheless. I basically saved the best for last, but I'm trying to do this thing where I don't really go into depth with my music of the month summaries so that I have more material and more opportunities to cover them in other videos. But basically, one of the key traits from certain albums that did made it to my Albums of the Year list in 2020 was the fact that I went into listening that project not really expecting anything, or honestly probably not even knowing who the artist is, not being very familiar with them, but then having my mind blown afterwards. Sure, you could argue that it's too late to be thinking about potential candidates for Albums of the Year when we're only 1 month into 2021. But I argue that when something is as amazing as this is, it's pretty hard not to want to immediately give it an award. It's very highly recommended, and I hope I'll be able to talk about them more in depth in the future. So those are all the albums I listened to this month. As you can see, I've finished off my summary spread for January, and now I'm moving on to the next spread. This journaling aspect isn't the only new thing I'm trying out in this video. Allow me to introduce a new section to my Music of the Month summaries. Songs of the Day. So I tried to do this last year. It's basically writing down any song that may have jumped out at me or represents something from that day. Last year I tried to do it every day, but it didn't feel right, and I didn't want to force myself to find a song that I didn't really feel fully committed to. I wanted that song of the day to feel like a song of the day. This time I just write down if there is a song that jumped out at me, and maybe write a few lines about how it made me feel or what it did represent for that particular day. So here it is in chronological order. January 3, Going Crazy by Treasure. My friend and I had this song stuck in our heads during our voice call. January 5, Shinkai by Eve. This was introduced to me by my friend while we were driving in the car. January 7, Wave by Lime Soda. This was introduced to me on the same day that Shinkai was introduced, but I just liked the song for this particular day. January 8, Boy Problems by Carly Rae Jepsen. I'll leave this to your imagination. January 10, All Too Well, covered by Slowly Slowly, originally by Taylor Swift. This was a discovery I made while I was on call that Slowly Slowly, a band I liked, uploaded a number of covers on their YouTube channel in 2020 throughout the year basically. All of which were pretty great, but this was the most compelling of the bunch and the song that I was most surprised that they would cover. January 11, I'll Be Your Family by Yerin Beck. This was a song that my friend introduced me to while he was driving me in his car. January 13, Turn Back Time by WayV. This was on repeat the whole day. January 14, Bad Girl by Woo-Ah. Also on repeat the whole day. It's another Itzy Dalla Dalla knockoff, but it has to be the best attempt at it that I've heard of because there's enough creative decisions to say that they definitely contributed something new and different as opposed to previous other attempts where they just tried to emulate the essence of that original Itzy Dalla Dalla song. January 15, I Feel You by Wonder Girls. I remembered how much of a banger this was while I was editing my Albums of the Year video, so this was basically also on repeat the whole day. January 21, Ne by Dots. I was in the mood for shoegaze that day and I had this on repeat. January 25, The Other Side by Jazmine Sullivan. I actually cried while I was listening to the song for the first time. It just made me really emotional. So I would encourage you to really listen to the entire Ho Tales album that Jazmine Sullivan released. It's really great and I can't recommend it enough. So yeah, that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've listened to any of the music I mentioned in this video or if you like the spread I made. Also, let me know how you feel about this video format if you're keen to see more of this type. My social media links are in the description as well as my Ko-fi page if you'd like to support my work. I'll see you guys next week. Take care, wash your hands, and wear a mask! Bye!